Hi, folks. Thank you for joining us today again for Food for Thought. You know, I just love hearing that jingle at the very beginning. By the way, this is Sunil Chandy. I'm the priest here at Christ Episcopal Church. Thank you for being with us. And I am looking like a giant in this moment. That's the one advantage about doing this in front of my laptop. I actually look like I'm huge, but I'm not. So anyway, thank you for being here. I am in a very good mood. That jingle at the very beginning with all those pictures of people just brought a smile to my face, especially the last one with Meg Roy. I missed her, but I just love that picture of her. She's smiling so great, and so are all of you, I am sure. Today is a beautiful day. It's an autumn day, and it's a day in which we will rejoice because God has blessed us with it. And so if you are here, please do say hello. Tell us that you're with us. Let us know that you're participating in with us on this medium, and we will be just very happy to say hello to you. And so at least, there's Jan. Hey, hello, Jan. How are you? Thank you. Barry, again, thank you for watching. It's always a joy to know that you're on board with us. And there are other people also. And so if you can, just say hello throughout this time that we have, this half hour, and help us to know that you're connected with us. And you can also connect with all those people who are watching this show. Also, today we have two very fun guests from our parish, and I will introduce them to you shortly. I think you will enjoy them. I enjoy their spirit, their joy, their everything about them. Hi, Kathy. Hey, how are you doing from Dallas, Texas? Good to see you. You know, I used to live in Dallas too, near Fort Worth, and every now and then you'll hear a y'all coming from me. But thanks, Kathy, for being with us. Your mother's doing great, I believe, and I was with Bill yesterday at a town council meeting, and so. Thank you. Charlene, good afternoon. Thank you for being with us too. God bless you always. So, food for thought. Today, I was looking at the lessons for this coming Sunday, and the one from Isaiah really is pretty powerful. It's the lesson, the first lesson for this coming Sunday, and it begins with "Comfort, O comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem, and her cry to you, that she has served her term, that her penalty is paid, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins." And then it says, a voice cries out in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be lifted up, every mountain and hill made low, and even uneven ground shall become level, and the rough places a plain. And then it goes on. At the end of it, towards the middle of it, the grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of God will stand forever. And lift up your voice with strength, O Jerusalem, herald of good tidings. Lift it up and do not fear. Say to the cities of Judah, here is your God. I think that is a real, this lesson resonates with what Sunday, the gospel lesson is, which is the one in which John the Baptist is crying out in the wilderness. And the thing about this thing is that this is first Isaiah writing. This is the three prophets who write in the name of Isaiah for the book of Isaiah. There's one who is the original prophet, and then there are two others. Now, the original prophet starts writing or speaking his prophecies, speaking the truth to the people of God before the exile. That's 70 years that they were, this whole nation was taken over by Babylon, and 70 years that all the best and brightest were taken out and assimilated into the Babylonian Empire. They were pulled out and moved away, and so they went out into the wilderness almost, because they were being occupied and taken captive. And so first Isaiah writes these words, and then second Isaiah writes during the time of the exile, and then third Isaiah writes as people return back 70 years later. But it's really pretty powerful, because what it is it's 70 years, and the prophet doesn't even, and he will die, the original prophet will die before these folks are restored back to what they were before. And so it's an interesting dynamic, because it speaks to the times of challenge, right? And John the Baptist uses these same words, 800 years later, in the time of Jesus, when Israel is now being occupied by the Roman Empire, and 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 basically says there's one crying in the wilderness and return back to God. And so I was thinking, what does that have to do with us today? We're in the midst of COVID-19. We're kind of in a wilderness too. Our we're not our ways are not kind of our ways are kind of unknown right now. We don't know what's going to happen. We're hoping that a vaccine will come through, and folks, I believe it will, right? But we're in the midst of this time where we're in the great unknown, and there are people who are dying every day, and the cases of coronavirus is increasing every day. And so, where is our hope? Well, I think Isaiah points to us, and John the Baptist points to us, and to this idea that the challenges always change, right? The challenges are always there. In Isaiah's time, it was Babylon. In John's time, it was the Roman Empire. And in the midst of those challenges, you could lose hope. You could feel despair. You could act differently, because fear and despair causes us to be people that we might not recognize in more stable times. What I think Isaiah, the insight, the great insight, is that even though the challenges change, God does not. If we choose to look at this God and allow God to give us the structure of our lives. And so in times of challenge, and fear can lead us to do all sorts of stuff, where we lose a sense of who we are. We care about only ourselves. We become very self-centered. I know I can, I know that's human. That's a human condition. When we're scared, we try to preserve, and we don't try to risk to help anyone, right? But in the midst of that, if we can find our security in God, and God calls us to act in a particular way, to act loving, to have hope, then we will do the things that are necessary for not only our survival, but for our thriving. It's interesting how the prophet says, a voice crying out in the wilderness. And we're out there in the wilderness, we're crying out. But guess what? God's out there with us in that wilderness, giving us hope, helping us to know that we don't have to live by fear, that we could live as he calls us to, by love, by joy, with joy, you adapting to the challenges before us, and creating a paradise even out there in the wilderness. The key, I think, is that wherever we go, our faith tells us that God is there, and so we are secure. Today, we have two people. I'm hoping that, I hope that we could get both of them, but I think we have at least Jeannie WIlks, who is going to help us talk about the Christmas Bazaar, and I'm hoping that Tammi Dunlap will be with her too, because both of these ladies are amazing ladies. They're great, good people with gracious hearts. And Dave, would you please bring them on board? Hey!
Yay! I love it.
You guys are something.
The Christmas spirit is alive and well here at Santa's workshop.
I love it. Oh my God! You
That is
surprised
perfect.
me, Tammy. You surprised me because I knew that Jeannie was going to wear the lights, but the hat and that's really.
I love it, Tammy. Oh.
I am just so grateful for both of you. You're the joys in our hearts, and thank you for doing all that you do, and especially for the church. And so we're in this thing where we're doing this whole week around the Christmas Bazaar. And tell us a little bit about your part in it. Tell us also about what we could look forward to, and I might ask you some questions about your hat or your lights that you have.
Okay.
So, who'd like to start?
Tammy.
Well, I'll go ahead and start. Yeah, and what I was going to mention was about the craft club that Christ Church has always had, that has always supported the bazaar. And I certainly didn't start it. I have carried on a great tradition from Bobby Allardyce, and I'm not even sure how far even before her, but I know Bobby Allardyce was a big, she was head of the craft club for a very long time, and she would get together with her friends Wanda and Courtney, and they would get together and do these crafts. And of course, they're all wonderful artists in their own right. And when I came to Christ Church in about 2016, I kept hearing people talk at virtual or not virtual, at coffee hour, saying, that there was this club where people got together and did crafts. And I thought, I love to do crafts. I love to do that. And then the bazaar came along, and it's funny, I never put the two things together. I thought it was just a fun club that Christ Church had. And then the bazaar came along, of which I volunteered to help work at the first year that we were here. And here was this amazing array of beautiful crafts that these ladies had been working on for the past 3-4 months. And I was just like, I was blown away. So I ingratiated myself with Bobby Allardyce. I said, Bobby, can I please come next year and help you with your craft club? And she was so sweet. She took me out to her house where she had, just a plethora of arts and crafts supplies. And, my heart sang at that, because I had the same kind of craft room at my house. And from there, I kind of started doing the craft club, and the next 3 years we did that. And we just have this wonderful group of people that come in. It is all ladies. It does not have to be all ladies that would do crafts. If you have any talent at all, if you can use a glue gun, I say, then you can be in the craft club. But
even if you can't, we'll teach you how.
What, Jeannie?
Yeah.
I said, even if you can't use a glue gun, we will teach you how to use it.
That's right. That's right.
Well, you know what?
We come up with clever little things. I have this right here. We try to repurpose things, and I like to look. I hate to throw things out, so I like to recycle and reuse. And so I look at everything as a craft project. So like this cute little angel. Look at this cute little angel. It's just made out of seashells.
Oh yeah.
And
I got to put on my glasses.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's just it's a beautiful little thing. So this is the kind of things that we get together and do. We just put these things together, of course, for the purpose of then having them for sale at the bazaar to help support the bazaar. So.
Well,
and
Tammy,
Jeannie has been. I mean, as long as I've been in craft club, Jeannie's been there every time.
Yeah. I did want to share a quick story. When you guys are in the craft club, throughout my 6 years, every now and then there'd be a lot of joy coming out of that room, a lot of laughter. And, there were a couple of times I came and I started to just help out and everything. Although I was a very big novice, and people were just very gracious to me. But it was a good group. It's a great group.
Well, when I was working in the office, and I would hear all this laughter coming down the hallway. I'm like, I want to be there. I want to go to that room, and instead of being behind my desk, I said, when I retire, I'm joining that group. And so I did, and we've had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Jeannie, you have a lot of you know, it's interesting because I've always known you at the very beginning as our parish administrator, the person that everyone knows anything and everything about everyone, right? But I didn't know that at first that you have such an artistic quality about you. You're so creative.
I didn't know it either. I mean, I knew I've always been, you know, I've always done sewing and made quilts, but I always told my kids that when I retired, I was going to teach myself how to paint.
Oh my God!
So that's actually what I've done, and I think I do it okay.
You do it beautifully. I mean, I was surprised when I saw the Christmas ornaments that you made.
Yeah.
You know, those that I you know, I bought several of those. They're on my Christmas tree. But
it's fun. It's fun.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
So let me ask you a question though. We had Janet Kitchen on yesterday, and also and she was telling a little bit about the history of the craft. I mean, the Christmas Bazaar. Mm-hmm. And so Janet and Dana Samararo were telling us about. So Dana has been here for 16 years. So it's been the Christmas Bazaar has been longer than that. And Janet suggested that it was here in like 40 years ago.
I believe that's true, and I was here, but I was a kid, so I wasn't paying that much attention to the Christmas Bazaar. But I believe that's true, and we would have it in the Undercroft, which at the time was just one big room with there's a stage at the end. In the last classroom, there's a stage inside that room. But it was kind of the gathering place before we had the parish hall in the 60s. So people would just go down there and, you know, sell what they were selling for the bazaar.
That's
but it's much more elaborate now, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And this year, I mean, we were talking about this year, and like I know, Tammi, you and I experienced along with Jeannie and all of us these last several years. It's been just beautiful at the Christmas Bazaar. It's so filled with music and people and food. It just gets ready for the holiday season, right? But this year,
so much fun. It is so much fun.
But this year,
it's become the new start of the Christmas season almost for me. You know, it's like always this weekend in December. That's what you work for, and then all of a sudden it's the Christmas explosion.
And so this year we won't have that. We can't do that. I mean, the challenge of this year is that we've got COVID-19, but you know, there's always ways that God gives us hope, and this is a way to be creative, you know. So tell us about the virtual experience, the virtual bazaar this year. What do you guys have planned?
Well, even though the craft club has been paused for this year, that does not mean that Santa's elves have stopped working in the workshop. So we have lots of different people that have been crafting and donated their things and have given their things to the virtual marketplace. And you can go on there and see all these things. There's wreaths and there's beautiful shell paintings. There's, you know, of the craft things. Jeannie, what else is there? I'm all of a sudden doing a blank as to what I turned.
Ornaments.
There's some little ornaments. There's like
and little
wood ornaments and seashell ornaments.
And wreaths.
Oh, the little wreath. Tabletop gnomes are very. Yeah. So those things, they're all still marketplace and still available for the next few days.
And I also think the food items. Oh my God!
Oh, it's incredible.
Oh God! Like I know every year I remember there's this one time that the choir makes all this soup, and they used to, and we used to have people with reservations almost. You know, you'd come in and you'd sit down, they'd serve you, and they'll give you this beautiful looking plate with soup in it, and the soup was so delicious. So we're not going to have that, but we have the soups that are made, right?
Yes, they have. They're selling very well. There's pints and there's quarts of a variety of soups made by lots of people. I think mostly choir members, but there could be some other ones in there too. And they're delicious. So it's frozen. So when you buy them, you can take them home, thaw them, and eat them, or put them in your freezer and save them for a night you don't feel like cooking.
Yeah.
So, and there's lots of food too. There's quiches and there's all kinds of breads and cookies and cakes, and oh my gosh, it's beautiful. You need to go look at it. They're all beautiful.
I know. I love this season.
I love food.
The other thing is also, I got to tell you, the men's fellowship, Casual Cook and the men's fellowship are making their secret meatballs. Secret meatballs, and they're going to be sold as well. So yeah, I know that Tammy, the technology is. Go ahead, Tammy. I'm sorry.
Oh, she's frozen.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And Tammy will come back in. I think Dave is helping to come back in. But the other thing is also Tammy and Janet Kitchen and the whole gang make those wonderful pastries too. I mean, they're, oh my God, it's interesting because Wendy Hyde, who is the co-chair along with Lisa Kitchen, they're taking pictures of all these items and they're putting it on the virtual, the website and so forth. And for some reason, they're good at taking their pictures. They make it look delicious.
I know. Well, Wendy and Lisa, and I guess with a lot of help from Jackie to set this virtual bazaar up, have done just an amazing job. I couldn't even begin to fathom how you put all these pieces together and make it look as beautiful as they've made it look. So God bless them.
Right. And there's and I think there's also an auction too. An auction, the actual bazaar, and then there's an auction, and that'll happen on, I think, December 5th. I think.
Well, it's happening all this week.
Oh, okay.
You can go on and bid on things and keep going in and seeing if your bid is the highest or if you want to bid more. And that's happening through the 5th, like through Saturday at what, 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
5 o'clock. I think it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah. And then, it's a limited number of items. It's not overwhelming, but there's probably 3 dozen things you can bid on that are all wonderful. So keep bidding.
Keep bidding, right? And I think it was funny. Lisa Kitchen just wrote a little note to us that says that Tammy Dunlap's Little Gnomes are a big hit.
Oh yeah. She modeled them after herself.
That's right.
They're all going to be fully made ready for Saturday.
Oh, that's good.
That's great.
Is my audio any better?
It's a little bit choppy, a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We can see you. That's it. That's enough for us. The other question I was wondering about, Jeannie, what's the deal? Betsy Rice asked about the different links. I'm not sure about that. Jeannie, do you know how to get access to the different links?
I think if you go on the website, on our website for the auction, there is a link that says join here. And the other is I've gone in through an email link, but Tammy might know more about that than I do. I just kind of find it, but the auction is definitely through our website.
What I usually do, yeah.
So that's christchurchwesterly.org,
what I usually
right?
is go into the link, and the email blast has all the links on it, and you just click right on it from that. So if you can go look back at your old mail, get last Friday's email, all the links are right there. And I think they've done a good job of kind of sending out those blasts when both the auction went live and when the marketplace was up. So that's just the easiest way for me to do it.
Yeah, I'm reading down here on the bottom. Make a bid on some of our incredible auction items. www.32auctions.com/CCW Bazaar 2020. So that's kind of a long mouthful, but it will be on our website too, which is christchurchwesterly.org, and you'll be able to get to both places, I believe, from there.
And the other thing I think we should also remember is to just share it with your friends. You know, there might be people outside of our community who might be interested in some of the things that we have here, and so share it with them, especially people who live in this area who can pick up these things. And it's again, it's a good way to get into the Christmas spirit in this time, helping us prepare for Christmas. But I gotta ask you, Jeannie, I've been seeing those lights. Do you know any of the history? I know, like every year for 6 years, I've been seeing either Wendy or someone wear those lights. What does it mean?
Well, these I bought to wear for Christmas Pops when the chorus does our Christmas Pop show. About 5 years ago, I bought these because we always wear hats. You know, during Sleigh Ride, when the orchestra plays Sleigh Ride, we wear hats or whatever. And I hate putting a hat on because you take it off and then your hair's flying. And I said, so I saw this. I said, well, these will be great. So that's why I bought these for Pops, and they seem to come in handy today.
No, it's beautiful, and I love it. You guys, both of you, bring the Christmas joy wherever you are, and that's my experience of you. And I'm grateful to God to know you both, and also to know that you're part of our church, and you're a blessing to us. And we'll pray that the virtual bazaar goes well and people prepare for Christmas.
It's already going well, so keep going, everybody. It's great.
It's going well.
Well, God bless you both. Thank you for being with us.
Still lots of things in place, and goes still.
Lots of things to buy still.
All right, good. God bless you again. And if is there any parting message you want to give us?
Shop early, shop often. I don't know.
If my audio's still working, please join us on Saturday for the live event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have videos, live things. There's going to be lots of fun stuff going on Saturday, so you can tune in. I think it's from 12 to 5. I'm sorry, Lisa and Wendy, if I don't have the exact time. It might be 11 to 5. That we're going to have just a whole day of fun things going on. That and then if you've bought anything, come and pick your stuff up on Saturday too, because that's when it will be available.
All right. Well, thank you both. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you, Sunil. Thank you.
All right. Aren't they great? They are just two members of our congregation that just bring so much light and joy to life. You know, this is, and Lisa Kitchen tells us it's from 10 to 6 on Saturday, 10 to 6. Lisa Kitchen should be on here too, along with Wendy Hyde one day. I'm hoping that they will. I think they are. And they are the chairs of this event, and I'm grateful to them. So let's end our time with this prayer that we have from Bishop Thomas Brown, who helps us remember how to orient ourselves during this time of challenge. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Jesus Christ, you travel through towns and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fear, which prevents nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support the medical professionals, emergency responders, and our caregivers. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go in peace to spread the light of Christ to the world. Light of hope, light of joy, light of God's presence. The world needs it right now. Thank you.